What's going on, world? What's going on, Space Marines? So I found this guy here who went on a rant in the most mediocre way with his mediocre, grumpy point of view. You'll see why. Who is basically trying to say this game is mediocre. He's out of his mind. I've been gaming for 30 years, by the way, and I've played them all. I've also am a heavy Gears of War player. Played it so much back in the days. I played Helldivers 1, Helldivers 2. And some of his comparisons that he tried to compare to Helldivers is just completely off. Not only that, but his take and the stuff that he's complaining about is what makes this game good in ways. And he's complaining about stuff in the story. I mean, we still got operations, we still got PvP, and then we got like, the dynamic feel that you would see in games like Left 4 Dead and World War Z and stuff like that. Uh, he just doesn't know what he's talking about. And he just reminds me of one of those people far off into the corner where everybody else is knowing how important this game was, not DEI infected, fighting against all that crap, and it's doing the right things, and definitely with the budget that it had, and how it's going to continue to get updated, and how it's one of the most manly, masculine badass games that we've played in a while. It has everything you want with PvP, co-op, and online. They're going to be adding, like I said, a lot more stuff there to get us the roadmap. I mean, it's doing a lot of things that are right, that I really like, and they should be supported for that. But let's go ahead and get into this, and let's react along the way. By the way, right here, my copy right here, as you see, and I'm playing on max settings, you know, ultra max settings, 4K. Let's go.
So I just played Space Marine 2 for 10 hours and I finished all the single player campaign and I played some PvP and some co-op.
10 hours is
And
not
I
enough.
guess that this is going to be an unpopular opinion,
I mean,
but
it is, but
it's not really a good game.
Hello, my name is Grumpy. Grumpy,
already annoying me.
Right, so first and foremost, before you start bashing on me in the comment section, just let me explain my opinion by reviewing each segment of the game. The gameplay, the graphics, the audio, the music, and the story. But before I start, I have to say this is not a sponsored video, and I really wish it was, because I've spent $100 on this game just to get it early and to make a review, hoping that the game will be solid enough and that I will play it with my friends for the next couple of months. But honestly, I don't feel the urge to play it ever again. And if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I would probably just refund it straight away. But this one's on me, I was dumb, I was hoping that I'll have a game to play and to make content on for the foreseeable future. So if you find this video useful or helpful in any way, please consider subscribing or sharing the video or even helping a brother out on Patreon.
No.
Or on YouTube, because even if I get, let's say, 10,000 views on YouTube for this video, I will still not be able to recoup the money that I lost on this game. But anyway, let's talk about the gameplay. And this is my first and major gripe with the game. The gameplay is way too repetitive, boring, and not...
The gameplay is badass. Like, if you look at what they're doing for the Space Marine franchise, too, and how it can expand, and how there's so much more coming around the corner, yeah, no. By the way, y'all like, subscribe, to like this type of content. If y'all want to play, let me know. Do some hardcore content. I'm definitely down for that. I'm always looking for some more Space Marines to join me on the battlefield so that we can get swole on them,
not innovative in any way. I knew that it was a hack and slash kind of a game, but I was very excited to play what I essentially saw as Helldivers with chainswords, but I was very, very wrong. What it is basically Doom.
No, that's closer to Gears of War. This guy has a peanut brain.
3 with smaller maps and a ton of cutscenes. And I'm not even joking. The amount of time sinks such as loading screens and fades to black is worse than Starfield. And all of them are destroying the
Starfield?
flow of the game. So in an hour of playtime, if you're lucky, you're gonna have at least 20 minutes worth of downtime. And now you're probably wondering why I mentioned cutscenes. Well, it's not the cutscenes themselves, but if you have so much downtime, such as fades to black for every fucking transition, if you have loading screens, they're just gonna be there every, like, 5...
It's called cinematic immersion, dipshit. This guy is just,
minutes, and then, yeah, you start hating cutscenes too, because I don't want...
No, people like them. It gives you a build-up like you would have in a huge war like that to go on the battlefield and give you a buff. It's kind of part of the war universe, definitely the Space Marine universe. Oh my God, it's like something you would expect in a story mode, not just running around gunning down everything and that's all you want to do. Like, yeah, that's a mediocre mindset. You would be a terrible developer, a terrible director, and you are not good at reviewing.
Want to fucking watch a movie, I want to play the fucking game already. On the other hand, when you're actually in control of the game itself is okay.
But you see that? You see that mindset already? Like, you could literally do multiplayer for that, and then you have like operations for that. Cutscenes are part of any story mode. Like, I don't understand why that's something to be looked at as negative.
Nothing more, nothing less, it's just okay. Purely because you only have something like 9 primary weapons to choose from, and then you have 4 secondary weapons and around 4 melee weapons. And they all basically feel and perform the same. As an example, there
No, they don't. Sounds like a skill issue and a lack of knowledge.
are only 3 classes of ranged weapons: bolt rifles and pistols, then you have energy rifles and a single energy pistol, and then you have heavy weapons. Bolt rifles are basically all the same, the only difference is that some of them shoot faster and some of them have scopes on them. But then again, who in the hell would play a game like this with a sniper rifle? Like, the maps are way
Skill issue, lack of knowledge.
too small, and there's way too many enemies swarming you at like constantly that like your sniper is not going to be effective enough. And then you have the energy weapons that can deal a lot of damage if you hold your left click longer so you can fire a powered up shot. And then you have the heavy weapons that you can find on some of the levels that will mow down a ton of enemies fast, and they're a lot of fun. But unfortunately, they are very rare, and since you can't really rearm them, I can't really say that I had a lot of fun with them. And if you're anything like me, you will not care about the ranged weapons
No, I never want to be.
at all. You want to pull your sleeves up and look dead in the eye of your enemy while you murder them. But unfortunately, that also, well, yeah. The melee weapons are the most engaging and fun part of this game for sure. And going into a bunch of enemies with a big ass hammer just to mow them all down with a single strike feels amazing. But the issue is that the hand-to-hand combat feels way too repetitive and bland. You basically have 2 attacks, a light attack and a heavy attack.
Dude, it's not just a game where you just simply melee. You can melee once, have a heavy, melee twice, have a heavy, melee 3 times, have a heavy. Execute people with different melee styles. Like, what is he talking about? Other games have way simple melee mechanics. We just melee once on Gears, but guess what? It wasn't a problem if the formula works for the way the game is designed and developed. Like, what is he talking about? What could you do on Helldivers melee-wise that he's trying to compare? Hey, that's why I say that, how's that comparison even aligned? This game has an advanced melee system. No.
You can combo them, but it all seems way too repetitive after a while. It doesn't really matter which melee weapon you take. The only difference is the speed of your attacks. So basically, the big-ass hammer will have the slowest attack speed, while the knife will have the fastest attack speed. The chainswords are somewhere in the middle, but the differences are marginal at best. On top of that, you can parry your opponent's light attacks and you can execute them.
Not only that, yeah, parrying and countering. And then when you turn up the difficulty, you have to watch the animation live for yourself. I mean, we're not just talking about, I simply just meleeed you, that's it. Yeah, no.
Once they are stunned, and those attacks will replenish your armor, and they're fun the first 20 times you do them, but later on you will have to do the same parries or executions 20 times per fight so you can live through them. And basically the whole gameplay revolves around that whole concept. Go into a herd of enemies, perform 2 light attacks, and then a heavy attack, and then perform at least 1 parry and a couple of executions so you can continue to the next fight. And trust me when I say this, it gets boring really fucking fast.
You're boring.
What is not boring though are the jetpacks, and once you get them, you want to use them all the time because they give you a fun twist on the.
He's just trying to downplay everything these guys have done. He obviously has a personal problem with this game that is very niche. And I can understand, like, if he was saying some good things here that actually made some great points of view. But honestly, he's just annoying. And I would not listen to this guy for professional advice.
Otherwise boring gameplay. But unfortunately, again, you only get to use them 2.5 times for the whole duration of the campaign. And I say 2.5 times because one of the times that you use them, they break after a minute because of dust.
That would kill the immersion on the ground of the game. Running around doing that all day.
You gotta be fucking joking. Just tell me you're not serious right now.
See, he's not talking about all the classes the game has outside of the campaign. None of that. There's a whole entire RPG class system that you can level up. I mean, wow. His point of view is so shallow.
Jump back fouled with dust.
We must proceed on foot.
Jesus fucking Christ. To make the matters even worse, even though the maps are beautifully created, the game is so much on rails that it doesn't even matter how beautiful the environment is, because you're always gonna be locked inside super small arena-like areas where you will need to kill everyone so you can progress to the next area. All of those areas are divided by either a set of locked doors or a boulder that you have to hold E on to move it, or there's gonna be a cutscene, or there's gonna be a fucking fade to black. And to make the matters even worse, sometimes you just have to hold W to get to another level, or go to another cutscene, or a fucking loading screen.
Okay?
And I'm not even kidding.
I just hate the loading screens in this game when there's a bug. Like I'm playing with, my friend who plays on console, and sometimes when he get disconnected, we have to stay in a long loading screen. That's something that absolutely annoys me about this game. But that's something that can be fixed. It's not a problem with the actual gameplay, the design, the writing, the engine, the coding, the sound effects. All that is epic. Like, this game has cinematic immersion, epicness.
I'm just gonna play you a whole level from a cutscene to the next cutscene, and you see for yourself how much gameplay I have there.
My lord,
Nonsense.
our vanguard forces are through the field. Hit them hard,
Holy shit, this is gonna be epic.
Yes, lord.
Yeah,
For like 30 seconds from a cutscene to a cutscene, and that's it.
He's crying about a 30-second cutscene? How mediocre can you be? You have to be kidding me, y'all. This guy's an idiot. Hey.
So yeah, and with all those time sinks and boring gameplay, I finished the whole main campaign in about like 6 hours. But then I thought there's much more to do in the co-op mode and the PvP mode, but I was wrong. The co-op mode is basically the same as the storyline. The only difference is that you can actually choose like different classes and whatnot. And obviously I chose the attack class so I can get the jetpack, but the refueling timer on the jetpack is much slower than in the storyline mode, and you only get a single charge instead of 2, which renders it to be practically.
Yeah, let's break the game by over abusing that. Definitely on higher difficulties. There's multiple different difficulties. There's multiple different layouts. There's multiple different class combinations. Like he's just very simple.
Fucking useless. But like, why would I replay the same campaign that I played in the story mode? Like, I don't get it. So yeah, it was boring, and it was like basically like the same fucking experience, but with like random people or with friends, whatever. And then I thought, well, maybe PvP is gonna be better. So I tried PvP, and it's not. The PvP is, well, unbalanced to say the least. First of all, there is no matchmaking. Secondly, you get the same classes as in the co-op mode, but you can only pick one per match, and I did not find a way to switch my class mid-match. On top of that, if you want to modify...
I don't know if he read their roadmap and saw all the things that they're adding. Like, he acts like that this is the game and that's it, and it's never going to get any updates or get any better. He didn't read anything.
Your loadout, you'll have to do it in about like 30 seconds while you're queuing for the next game, which typically gives you like 30 seconds to a minute to run to the armory and wait for it to open up for you, and by then you have like 15 to 30 seconds to do what you wanted to do. So the whole PvP mode feels like it was just an afterthought. Especially considering that there are only 2 viable classes and that the rest of them are severely underpowered. On top of that, there is no replay cam after you get killed, and there are in total 3 maps that are made with PvP in mind. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't expecting Overwatch levels of fun, and I wasn't expecting anything like that innovative. But after a single-player campaign and the co-op mode, I was at least expecting it to be as polished and as fun as Destiny 2's PvP mode is. But it's not, and honestly I was very excited for this game, but...
Okay, so now we're comparing this to Destiny 2. A third-person shooter, by the way.
It only made me want to play Helldivers 2 and Destiny 2 again, and I really don't want to play...
Helldivers 2 is dying. They don't know how to update the game, they don't know how to balance things, all they know how to do is nerf things in the ground. They let invasions happen that shouldn't have. Don't get me wrong, I like Arrowhead. I played a lot of Helldivers 1 and Helldivers 2, but I still don't get how you haven't brought up Gears of War one time. Blows my mind.
Play them anymore. But let's talk about the graphics. The graphics are mostly really good, the visuals are nice, the effects are great, and there were not that many situations where I felt overwhelmed or underwhelmed by the effects on the screen. And watching the swarm of enemies coming at you while you're fighting in the front lines feels fucking amazing. But there are a couple of serious issues in the graphics department.
Oh, God.
And look, I really don't want to be so fucking negative, but it's 2024 and the game doesn't have an FOV slider and it doesn't have ultra-wide support support. Like, that's a deal breaker for me, honestly. Like, it's fucking 2024. Like, come on. And honestly, the game wouldn't even need an FOV slider if your bulky-ass character wasn't that close to the camera and obscuring most of the screen. I get that they wanted the game to look great and for you not to lose any frames when you're getting swarmed, especially on PlayStation 5 or what, like, I don't even know what platforms this game is on, but the levels are so small that I really don't get why they restricted the FOV and why there's no ultra-wide support. I mean, I guess I know because they made it for the fucking consoles and other PC users. But again, it's not 2005, it's 2024.
This is not a review. This is an annoying, boring rant. And the fact that he has 4,000 views blows my mind. That's why I wanted to react to this, because it's like, okay, you are wrong on so many things. You're not wrong for having an opinion, but the way that you're trying to display this game is very unintelligent.
Could have just made ultra-wide support. Like, I have a 4090 and a 7950X. I can run this game, but you're just not letting me. And I'm getting aggravated now, and I don't want to be, but in short, if you wanted me to describe this game in one word, it will be claustrophobic. And I'm not even kidding. Like, small maps, small areas where you fight at, and like a bunch of like a swarms of enemies, and your bulky fucking character being here, and you can't fucking see the rest of the screen because of him, and like you have a small FOV too. But that was just wishful thinking. First of all of the characters have those deep and manly and like harsh voices that we love to hear. But the issue is that they literally all sound the same. I finished the whole campaign.
Oh my god.
And I still can't differentiate my character's voice from the voices of my two sidekicks. They literally sound the same. But that's not even the biggest issue. The biggest issue is that the music and the sound effects all live in the same register, so they all are constantly competing with each other. And that's a serious issue. Even on my Audi's LCD-X headphones that, mind you, cost $1,000, or on my main studio speakers that I use for mixing and mastering, it's basically all just rumble that makes the voice acting completely unintelligible. To top that off, most of the time the characters will just start talking over each other. And since all of them have those raspy, hard, over-the-top voices, and all of them speak in the same British accent, and the fact that all the sound effects and the music is also living in the same register, I just kept on losing track of what was said, until I just gave up. And for my old viewers, you probably noticed that I skipped the story, like I did not review the story. It's because of this, because I couldn't keep up with most of the shit that was said, and I just don't care anymore. Honestly.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you shared that.
Whatever. The only thing that I can say about the story is that it's a bit cringe, and that Helldivers 2 just made everything cringe.
There goes Helldivers 2 again. Oh boy, Gears of War is not mentioned once. Wow.
For me, because it is the cringiest game ever.
You don't know about those epic 360 days manifested right here in a good fashion.
It's supposed to be, and this game was not supposed to be as cringe as it is. And just like I gave up,
No, your point of view is cringe. Your review aspect is cringe. Your complaining is cringe. The way, just everything about you is mediocre, buddy. For this, I don't know about your other content, but yeah, your name actually meets you very well. I just can't take you that serious when it comes to this game.
I have a feeling that most of the developers around the world have given up on delivering like those special and like great fucking games. It's like, it just seems that it's always just good enough. Yeah, it's good enough, just put it out. But anyway, let me get to the conclusion and let me give you my final thoughts on this game. So the game is not good, but it's not that bad either. It just falls into that category of titles that are just meh. And
I don't think he knows what mid is.
That's it. It looks like a AAA title, but unfortunately it also plays as one. It's like EA made the graphics and Ubisoft made the gameplay. So overall, I would not recommend this game to anyone unless it gets sold for like $20. And that is if you're really willing to pay to have a boring, claustrophobic experience. But the best that I can do is give this game a score of 5 out of 10 grumpling.
Yeah, nobody takes your reviews serious. Sorry, I don't take that serious. That's what I wanted to. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to react to that. Yo, Marines, let me know what y'all think, and other people let me know what y'all think who have the game. This guy absolutely does not have a clue of what he's talking about. I think everything he's saying is very shallow and kind of like childish, and he just doesn't have an intricate depth on the way development works and how many other games that are actually mid that are not good compared to this game. I find his comparisons a little bit off too because he over compares Helldivers to this, and it's way more closer to Gears of War than it is to Helldivers. And he just does not see any jumps, any evolution on the game. Also, the potential that is coming in the future that they provided, and knowing Saber Entertainment, how they update games for a while. I mean, look at World War Z. Um, it it just blows my mind the way that he's trying to present this game to people, and it's completely off. And I do not recommend it. All in all, y'all, let me know what y'all think. Like, subscribe, if you like this type of content. All right, y'all. See you out in the field. Let me know if y'all want to play. Comment in the section. We can definitely do that. Like I said, add on Steam or if you're on console, let me know there too. It doesn't matter. All right, y'all. Peace.